Hi everybody, it's Laurie from the art studio at Madison Children's Museum, here with a Mess Monsters project for you. Today we're going to be making squiggle sculptures. Let me tell you what you're going to need to do this project with us today. For our bases for our squiggle sculptures, we're going to be using pieces of recycled styrofoam. This is from a piece of packaging that came in the mail, and I cut it into pieces with a plastic bread knife. You'll need an adult to do this part of the project. If you don't have pieces of styrofoam from packaging, you could also use the styrofoam egg carton lid cut in half like I did here. You'll need the styrofoam base because our squiggles are going to be pressed into the styrofoam and then stay in place. The other items that you're going to need for this project are pipe cleaners, or I think they call them chenille stems now. I've got a few different colors and textures, and I prepared these by cutting them in half or smaller. I've got a few smaller pieces here, and it's nice when you do a project like this to have all your materials set out on different things like a plate or a little container so that we can keep them organized. Our other materials are beads. I've got some different wooden beads or plastic beads, and you'll need to make sure that whatever beads that you use, that the pipe cleaner can go through the hole in the bead. I also have some pieces of colored drinking straw, and the same here. You're going to want to make sure that whatever kind of straw that you use, that your pipe cleaner can go through the middle of the straw and stay in place. Another material are these fun buttons. Some have 4 holes, some have 2 holes, and you can test and make sure that your pipe cleaner can fit through your holes in your buttons. Here in this container, I have some different materials that we can use. I cut up some little scraps of the foam egg carton lid. I've got some construction paper pieces, and I've used my hole punch to make holes in my paper pieces. I'll talk about why we have the holes in them, but you can make at least 2 holes in your pieces, maybe even more than that. This one has 3 holes. And if you have it, craft foam pieces, the flexible craft foam, are really fun, and I've punched holes in some of those pieces also. Some don't have holes, some do. Let's get started making a squiggle sculpture. So I have my base here. Younger friends are going to really enjoy just placing the pipe cleaner stems into the styrofoam. It's really easy and simple to put them in place. Uses your pincer grip and your fine motor skills, which is really great for our young friends to practice. And it's just like we're planting flowers in the ground. You can just take your pipe cleaner and press it right into the foam and it'll stay. Now let's see some different fun things we can do to make different squiggle shapes. I can take a pipe cleaner and put a bead through it, or 2, maybe I'll do 2 beads on this one. So you can make sculptures that are really abstract and just all about the process of making, or for some of our older friends, they might want to get a little more adventurous and actually make some sculptures that look like maybe a plant or an animal or a house or something imaginary. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner that I put my beads on, and I'm going to bend it to make a bendy arch, and then I'm going to take both pieces of the ends and stick them into my base. Let's see what else I can do. Let's try making a spiral with our pipe cleaner. So you can use just your finger, or you can use something like a crayon or a pen, and you can take your pipe cleaner and hold it in place and wrap it around, and it makes a spiral. Now let me straighten out the ends of my spiral, and why don't I put something on my spiral? Let's try a button. So you can put your pipe cleaner end right through that hole in that button, and look, it'll stay in place. And I'll plant my spirally flower squiggle into my sculpture. Let's try some of these flat pieces that I prepared here. So if you're able to, you can take your pipe cleaner and stick it right directly into the foam. See how I did that? I didn't even need a hole. Some of our younger friends might have a little more trouble doing that, sticking it through the foam. So that's why we prepared some of these pieces with the holes through them, because younger friends can just stitch the pipe cleaner through the holes to fit it on their shape like that. This one kind of looks like an abstract leaf, doesn't it? So let's plant this one over here. And I'll use a pipe cleaner just stuck through my foam piece this time. You're gonna have to hold it with that pincer grip with your thumb and your finger, and hold this pipe cleaner with your pincer grip so that you can really stick it through. Let's try that. Using another finger to steady it. There, you did it all the way through. And this could be almost like a sail. I'm gonna bend my pipe cleaner around this time into a loop, and then I'll twist it to stay in place. You can see how you could get really creative with our twisting with our pipe cleaners and make all kinds of different forms. Like I could even take this red pipe cleaner and attach it to this brown pipe cleaner. I'm gonna twist it around with my fingers and it'll stay in place. So I've got one straight squiggle, and then I'm going to bend this one into a sideways squiggle. Look how it stays in place. And I'm going to put one of these pieces of straw on the end. And we'll plant that one. Remember, friends, we can always turn our sculpture around and look at it from different angles and see what it needs. I think my sculpture needs maybe one more squiggle until we're gonna call it done for today. So this one, I'm gonna thread my button onto my pipe cleaner, kind of like I'm sewing it on there. See, and then I can bend it so it goes towards the front. Twist this around a little bit and make my pipe cleaner a little wiggly. And then I'm gonna plant one final squiggle. Oh wait, I changed my mind because I didn't show you how you can use your craft foam piece. I think I want this one to be right on the base of my sculpture. So I'm gonna poke this through and then I'm gonna plant it so that I have my craft foam piece on the bottom. I think my squiggle sculptures are done for today. Now, did you do this project at home? If you did, shoot a picture of your squiggle sculpture and post it right here in the comments. I'd love to see what you made. So this is Laurie from the Children's Museum saying goodbye for this week, and I'll see you next Friday for another episode of Mess Monsters.